Thank you so
Hi, everyone. Make sure you hit the like button as you come in. Make sure you hit the like button. And if you want to share me out, y'all. We got some things we're gonna do. We're gonna discuss the trial, and we're going. I can only give you guys what's been put out on Twitter and on the news, so that's what I'm going to do. Um, if you want to um, share me out, please share me out. I'm gonna wait a few minutes for some people to enter in, and then we're gonna get into the content on tonight. I know I didn't put out any content, well, a pre-live, and I'm sorry, but child, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. But I am live tonight. For the ones that want to come in, so we're just gonna wait a minute here. Um, I'm gonna share myself out.
much. And before y'all
Y'all gonna wait for a few more minutes here. I guess everybody's sleep on tonight. Um, I guess everybody sleep on tonight, but y'all, I'm gonna try to just go ahead and go through. Um, I'm gonna go ahead and proceed. Um, I can only give what Twitter has about the information that we have, and I know a lot of people have been, honestly, like people have been streaming the live audio, and that is illegal. So if you are a content creator and you're covering this case, please do not share the audio. Just go by, I guess, whatever it is on Twitter. But please do not, I repeat, do not live stream the audio because the judge has set in, like, they're going to take it down. Like, the judge has already put that in place today that they are going to cancel that. So, um, I hate for anybody to, that's illegal to do that. And I hate for anybody to go to jail because, I understand you want content and ain't nothing wrong with getting content. It ain't nothing wrong with, um, trying to build your platform, but sometimes you have to do it the honest way. And that bot means, making sure that you're doing it with integrity, not just doing it. Hold on, y'all. Where everybody at? Y'all, I'm live. Making sure that we do it with integrity and not just be, I hate to say it, clout chasing. So, but we all clout chasing in some type of way. Trying to, we're trying to get off of somebody else's name. So that's still, um, so just allow me a minute. I don't know why YouTube haven't put me in the algorithm, but um, I'm just gonna go ahead on and try to do the content on tonight. Um, um, because it is late and I know a lot of people have to go to work, but I definitely want to go over the the well, y'all come on in. I guess come on in. Hey Nina Hill, how are you? Thank you for coming in. We're just going to discuss um what we learned in trial, or what was tweeted by the news in Kern County in trial, and give our opinion on it. Thank you so much for coming in because I want to discuss it because it's very alarming the last few days of trial. What um what has been exposed. But like I said yesterday, I don't think like they got enough to get them. They're gonna have to do a lot more to get them convicted. They're gonna have to have a little more credible witnesses, in my opinion. I'm not saying that there are Trezell and Jacqueline is innocent, but the prosecution got to prove beyond a reasonable doubt. And I don't know they got that, but they did get the jury to indict them. So we going to go over what hey, if it's one or two, we just gonna get it. So this is like I was telling people, please do not share the live audio of the news. I'm just giving you guys what was put out on Twitter because I feel like that's the only way we can understand or know what's going on. And this is by KGET 17 News. Um, it was, as you see, it started at 11:07 a.m. But that's going to be around 9 o'clock um, Pacific time. So this says here, and we're just going to just go through it, and then we're going to push through this tonight. So this is the trial. It says here the trial of Trezell and Jacqueline West is about to resume. And this is the seventh day of trial. They're charged with murder and other crimes in the death of their adopted sons, Orrin, Four, and Orson. Their bodies have been not been found. It says here, prosecutor Eric Smith has resumed planned interview authorities conducted with Jacqueline West on December the 22nd, 2020, the day after the West reported the boys were missing. Prosecutors say the boys died 3 months before reported missing. It says here Bakersfield Police Detective John Ryan has been in charge of the interview more than an hour, which was played yesterday. He tells Jacqueline she's withholding information and she says she loves the boys, but is not the same emotions as with her biological children. This is before I'm going to let me read a couple, then we're going to get back to this. So it says here, um, she said that in a response to Ryan telling her that if his kids were missing, he'd be going crazy. She has shown little emotion during the interview and has been called out on. Ryan tells her he can see in her face that she wants to tell him something, and he says she's trying to save her husband from something he did. The children should be all she cares about. And he tells her, this is the time to tell us right now, he says. If you're going to lie for some low life who did something crazy to a kid, you're not going to take care of your own kids, Ryan said. He tells her her other children are in protective custody. And it says here, Jacqueline said, are you serious? Jacqueline says. Ryan keeps working on her. He says she needs to tell the truth. He say he doesn't know 100% if she had any involvement in this, but he thinks she's a good person. He's not worth you lying for. But my thing is, let me just go stop right here. My thing is with this is, I know you understand that he working her and trying to say if you're trying to cover for this low life, but you don't know for sure if Trezell was even a part of this. I understand that they're trying to get information, and for her to show lack of emotion, like most people, like people cry over their dogs. Let me just be honest. Like, I honestly think that these people were in over their head. They had too many children. Those boys, they were babies. And sometimes, some people, can't handle children. And I think that some of those boys may have been special needs by what I have read on Twitter. But the most alarming thing is her lack of emotion. If you're going to adopt children, you should love so you're saying that you only have that emotion for the children that you birth, but you don't have no emotion, none of the emotion for children that you adopted and said that you have of your own. Make like, I could not believe. Let me just, like, this first tweet. Let me go back up. For her to say, she says she loves the boys, but it's not the same emotion as with her biological children. So what you're saying is you love you may care for them, but you don't feel for them like your own children. So if you're not gonna love those kids, because that's what really, to me, what adoption is. You love, like, this is even like when you're adopting an animal, because people look at their animals as family. Honestly, y'all, they look at their animals as family. And for her to not show any kind of emotion, hopefully y'all can see what I put on the screen. If not, I can blow it up a little bit more for you. For her to show no emotions, I'm talking about none, nada, no emotions on the screen. I mean, like during the interview, not crying, not none of that. Like, I can't wait to hear Trezell like interview, or us to hear about Trezell interview, because he probably didn't have no. We'll see how he was reacting, because it seemed like she didn't too much care. But this is the most alarming part: is if you have lost some children, I don't care if you don't birth them, but if they're in your custody and if you care anything about those children, then you should have the same emotion, in my opinion. Because I love, if I say I'm your friend, I'm gonna love my friends. I'm gonna love them. And if something happens to them, I'm gonna be very concerned. And if, especially children, if they come up missing or anything come any hurt, harm, or danger comes to them, I am gonna be devastated. especially children that I have adopted and gave my last name. That means that I'm going to, in my opinion, I'm going to love them as my own. And that's just how I feel. And if something happened to them, I'm gonna be just as devastated as the ones that I have birthed. And I'll say show the same emotion. I don't know what she child. I may be wrong, if y'all opinion is different from mine, but that's how I look at it. Because even in the investigator says here, if his kids was missing, he'll be devastated. Like he'll be devastated if his kids was missing. It says here, Ryan tells her he can see it in her face. She wants to tell him something. He says she's trying to save her husband from something he did. We don't know. See, he's trying to play them against each other. I bet you he told Trezell the same thing, but they got their lie together, baby. They got their whatever lie or whatever happened, they got that together. um, so it says here Jacqueline denies lying, saying she told them everything. You're telling us what you want us to know, Ryan said. She said, you're not telling us everything. Ryan asked who she's protecting. Trezell, an uncle, a cousin. Somebody had these two babies, he says. Another officer notes she told them they cried a lot and were a lot to handle. And she's asked if she gave them away. So Jacqueline said to one of the officers that um the kids were a lot to handle, and she couldn't, deal with them a lot because they were a lot to handle. If they were a lot to handle, then Jacqueline should have never considered adopting additional children, knowing that she mentally couldn't handle the children. You can't be that pressed for money. What's wrong with getting out there making a living? I understand you got 1,000. That like we learned yesterday that they got 1,000 a month for 4 of the children that they adopted. So y'all wanted to be adoptive parents, but you didn't know what you was getting into, and you got overwhelmed in over your head. And this is what Ryan says here. She said in this video, it says people sell babies. Ryan says people put babies in the sex trade. And I remember King Chris saying this. He said there are all sorts of things people do. He says there are hundreds of people searching California City to find the boys. He asked if they're looking pointlessly. And it says here that Ryan asked if the boys are buried in her yard or somewhere else. Jacqueline says nothing like that happened. She says they were alive when she saw them at the house. Officers tell her the boys weren't at the house. She said, I can live with myself. She said she's fine. This is what she's saying on the video to the officers. She said, I can live with myself, Jacqueline says. She says she's fine. She's okay with them looking through her phones and investigating her. It says Ryan again tells her surveillance footage picks up her husband leaving. Police showing up, but no children. He asks if she thinks that's odd. She says yes, but she doesn't have an answer. So this man go looking for some children, y'all. Let's just be real. This man came looking for some children. He left to look for some children. There's surveillance of him leaving, but there's no surveillance of any children ever that left out the yard. But they got footage of him. It's like a whole acting drama scene or something like that. That's crazy. Um, Ryan points out, she said if her two biological kids went missing, she'd be Jack. Oh, hold on, I don't got. She said Ryan points out, she said if her two biological kids went missing, she'd be freaking out. And Jacqueline said she didn't mean that she doesn't care about the other children. But what the hell do you mean, Jacqueline? Because you said that you don't have the same emotion. You said you don't have the same emotion that what you have for the adopted children than you have with your um, children that you birth. But I feel as though any children that's in someone's care and you adopt them and say you're gonna love them and treat them as your own, you should be freaking out just with them as well as your own um with your own children. Honestly, it says here that Jacqueline states that everything I said is getting twisted. It says here the video has frozen, so prosecutor Eric Smith is working to fix it. And it says here Smith said he has other witnesses in the hallway he can call while the computer is being fixed. Charles Pettis has been called to the stand. They changed the plans. Eric Smith said he called Josiah West instead. This this is Josiah West, y'all, is uh, Trezell's brother, and his testimony is going to like have you questioning them as well. Like where, like you still gonna have that question of where is the boys because you're still going to have questions. But he does give an account as well. And you're going to learn about some things about the boys too. I'm going to read this to you now. Um, so Josiah is 27. You know, Wanda West and Philip West is his mom and dad. His brothers are Trezell and Josiah said he's the youngest brother. In January of 2020, Josiah was living with his parents at a home on Potomac Avenue. He said Trezell was living in an apartment. He visited Trezell once or twice every 5 months. Josiah said he would watch the West's kids. He mentioned watching just two of the boys. He said he was there just to babysit. He said Trezell would also bring children to his parents' home. Josiah said all the kids will come, including Orrin and Orson. It says here Josiah said that he had a normal relationship with his brother. And then Smith asked about the children and what they were like. And it says here the Josiah is describing each of the children and their personalities. This is the most. I'm gonna read everything, and then I'm gonna give my opinion. Ain't no way this dude knew more about the children than the two damn people that adopted them. But anyway, um, it says here Orrin played with all of the boys. Orson was smaller to his brother. They didn't speak a lot, were concerned with playing or being around the adults. They interacted with the other boys a lot. In 2020, he learned Trezell planned to move to Cal City, Josiah said. He said he wasn't aware when the move took place, but said his mother helped them move. Josiah says he believed his mother was only gone one day helping with the move. So this okay, let me go now. It says here he never visited them in Cal City. He said he was busy with other things. It says here, moving to the weekend of December the 19th of 2020, Josiah says CPS showed up and spoke with his parents and let them know there was a situation. It was best to remove the children from the home until it was figured out. The children had been at the home on Potomac for a couple hours, maybe less, Josiah said, and all the boys, except for Orrin and Orson, were there. Josiah said he wasn't informed where the other four children were taken. He said eventually he was able to see the children again for a brief interaction. Josiah said he remembers a visit by Trezell and Jacqueline around the first week of December of 2020. He said the four kids would have been there. He babysitted, sat them. They made a gingerbread house. He said Trezell was gone for about 2 hours, Josiah said, and he said he didn't tell him where he was going. Josiah said he didn't see Orrin or Orson that day. Later in the month, when the other boys arrived, he also didn't see Orrin and Orson. It said here at no point in December did he see Orrin or Orson, Josiah said. He never saw them after Trezell and Jacqueline moved to Cal City. So that let us know that the boys been missing since, I say, before they even moved to Cal City. We're establishing. They're establishing now. They're establishing now that those boys, like the children said, were never did come to Cal City. They Something happened to those kids before they even got there. Because even the brother is saying he didn't see them kids. So something's not right with that. Um, It says here, at no point in December did he see Orrin or Orson. Josiah said he never saw them after Trezell and Jacqueline moved to Cal City. It says here, Smith has finished questioning Josiah. Timothy Hennessy, lead attorney for Trezell, has begun cross-examination. Under question from Hennessy, Josiah said his relationship with Trezell was lackluster and they didn't see eye to eye. They argued over a lot of things, including what type of dog food to buy. Josiah said he was involved with work in school once all the boys had been adopted by the West. When he spoke to FBI, he wasn't certain about the boys' ages. Josiah had told the FBI he had seen videos on his mother phone of all the children. Hennessy finished questioning. Now, Alexia Torres Stallings, Jacqueline's lead attorney, is conducting a cross examination. I understand why now it's a whole month, 2 month trial. She asked if two of the other children would be described as slow. Now, to get this, y'all see that, right? Slow. Josiah said that's a loaded term and he wouldn't use it, but they weren't as fast at picking up things as the older children. So if these kids were a little bit delayed, why didn't they seek any kind of speech therapy, occupational therapy? There are therapy for children that are delayed. Like, why Jack, or it was more about the check? Let me just be real. Um, or it was more about the check. So it says here, Josiah said his family spent a lot of time helping them communicate. With one of the children, there was a learning process, teaching him not to get physical or violent when he didn't get what he wanted. Moving to Orrin, Josiah said he was the type to make noises, stutter, mumble, or cry to communicate what he wanted. He doesn't know if that was because of his age, something he would grow out of, or Orson was the same. And Orson was the same way, he said. So both of these children has a speech delay, and they may have been autistic. I'm not trying to diagnose them or anything like that, but if children, if your child is not speaking maybe one and a half, two, and making decent sentences, you need to go get them checked out. You need to get them speech therapy. Don't wait and say, "Oh, they're going to grow out of it." No, you're denying your child help. Get them kids some help if they are like. I guess they dropped Jacqueline and Trezell dropped the ball on this when a child and they adopted them right out really, and they should have known that those kids wasn't talking to get those children some help. Like if those kids, look, y'all see it on the screen, those kids didn't really talk, and y'all didn't get them no kind of speech therapy or anything. So it says here on December the 22nd, when CPS visited, Josiah was home when an officer came to interview the four other children. It says here the officers made sure the adults were in the other room when the kids were interviewed. Josiah said the children would have been sleeping when the officers arrived. Josiah said the officer later said the Cal City home resembled a military garrison. Torres Stalin is asking if the children ate anything before interviewed by the officer. Josiah says CPS arrived afterward with snacks. Josiah said after the children were taken, they made attempts to reach out to the children after taking classes to become foster parents, but it was to no avail. It says here Josiah said it appeared CPS did not want his side of the family to speak openly with the children, and their interactions were limited. So this is the sad part about this whole entire situation, in my opinion. So you adopted children, did something to the adopted children. Now your children basically are in foster care because of your actions, and now you're not able to raise your children because of the fact you trying to raise somebody else's child and you don't mistreated and did something to them. So ain't nobody won in this situation. And y'all got to be held accountable for your actions. Um, it says here on December the 29th, December the 19th, when the other children were dropped off, Josiah said he gave Trezell a hug and told him he loved him. Hope things will go well in their new home. And they asked if the vans were running. Josiah said it was, and he didn't look inside it. Josiah had been excused, and then court went to recess for 15 minutes. So now court is back in session, and the witness joining through Zoom, Sergeant Daniel McCleve, is testifying. He is with the Bakersfield Police Department. McCleve has previously analyzed digital devices for the department, including cell phones and computers. McCleve is going over his qualification and training. The McCleaves, I like this. They just straight up, straight to the facts. That's what we need. We don't need to. I'm kind of glad I don't hear I don't get the whole breakdown, and because it can be a little bit on the boring side. So it says here, McCleve testified he would receive an item from an officer or get it from the property room to extract information from it. It is possible to get call logs, text messages, chat from different locations, location data, and web history from a phone. McCleve says sometimes it's not possible to download information, then they'll manually review information. With a DVR system, they'll remove the device internal storage and try to get the information from it. They'll copy a hard drive's in content and connect it to an item to examine it. So basically, he's trying to break down how they examine the equipment. He says here certain software can look for video files on the DVR. Regarding this case, McCleve examined a Samsung Galaxy phone on December the 20th. He retrieved info and gave it to a detective. No, they said a correction. December the 30th. McCleve said he also received a hard disk drive from an FBI investigator. It contained forensic copies of certain data um, from multiple devices. As here, McCleve is going over information from the FBI agent and what he did with them. It says here, McCleve is telling prosecutor Eric Smith the devices examined and whether information was obtained, but is not going into specifics about the information. It says here that McCleve shows 2 pages through the Zoom camera. They're related to a Swan DVR. Other pages have been shown to McCleve. They're a portion of a report from Night Owl DVR data. Says here that Victor Nassar, one of Trezell's attorney, has begun cross-examination. Nazir is asking about the report Smith just showed McCleve regarding the Swan DVR report. Nazir said he showed a total number of clips. He asked if McCleve was aware of the location where video was captured. McCleve said he wasn't. McCleve said he believed he was advised the video was from Cal City, but not specifically where. Regarding the Night Owl, both DVRs have many thousands of clips. The earliest clip is listed as September the 10th of 2020. The latest, September the 14th of 2020. So it says here, going back to the Swan DVR, the earliest clip was December the 8th of 2020, and the latest December the 27th of 2020. It says here, McCleve was asked about the analysis and had analyzed the DVR. Said he doesn't know if anyone outside his office analyzed them. It is to McCleve's understanding the DVRs will later return to their owners. At the end of the questioning, McCleve is excused. Charles Pettis have been called to the stand. He's the biological father. Let's get into this, y'all. Woo. Thank y'all for riding this with me. And it's not a lot of people in the chat. There's nobody in the chat, but that's fine. I'm still gonna cover it with somebody here or not. So, thank you guys that is in the bushes listening in. Since you're in the bushes, thank you. And can you hit the like button, please? If you don't mind, hit the like button, please. Make sure and if you're on Facebook, and thank you for the heart, Miss Nina. So it says here that the boy's biological, Charles Pettis has been called to the stand. He's the biological father of Orson West, but the child's birth name was Classic Pettis. Pettis said he became aware he was Orson's father after going to court. He had taken a paternity test. He found out Orson were reported missing when he got a call while playing a video game with oh Lord, Jesus, Lord. He was playing a video game at a family member's house. While you were in there, it could have been fair. We said, well, I was at work or something. Jesus. He said, I was really upset and scared, Petty said. He said he called his mom and didn't really know what to do. This is a trip. He eventually went to Cal City with family to try to find out what happened. Petty said he was out there for 30 minutes to an hour when Trezell and Jacqueline West were questioned by media. Pettis testified that was his first time in Cal City. Smith asked if he went to Cal City and kidnapped the boys. Pettis said no, he stays in Bakersfield. A lot of his family came to support him after the boys disappeared. Smith asked if anyone in his family has a name or nickname of TT. Pettis said no. Smith ended his questioning Torres Stalin began the cross examination. Pettis said he believed he was the biological father of both Orr and Orson, but it was determined he was only Orson's father. Torres Stalling is trying to pin down when law enforcement first contacted Pettis. He said he might have been it might have been a couple of weeks. So law enforcement didn't contact the father until a couple of weeks after the fact of these boys being missing. So Torres Stalin is trying to. So Torres Stalin has asked Pettis to read something on a laptop. Pettis said he remembers what she showed him, and he said he had to call officers about the case. Neither his phone nor computer was seized. He said. So they're basically trying to say that the boys were taken, and it could be possibly basically what this trying to say is trying to like say maybe the fathers them took the kids and they got them now because they know they want their kids back basically. But we all know that they have to run a narrative. They all have to run a narrative. So and Torres Stalling asks, has anyone prepared you for your testimony? He said he had stayed to himself because the case bothers him a lot. He said he hasn't listened to the case or discussed it with family members who have heard testimony. And let's see here. Let me hold on, y'all. Says Pettis said a relative Torres Stalling identified has not hold on. Okay, identified has not given him information about others who have testified. Torres Stallings ended her questioning. Pettis has been excused. The court was in recess until like 1:30. So let me, because y'all, I want y'all, they did a second interview with Jacqueline after lunch, and I'm finna find that. I hope you guys are listening in and taking in what everything is saying. I hope you guys. I know a lot of people's in the bushes, but what do you guys think so far? Like to me, in my opinion, um, they have established that the boys, in my opinion, the prosecution has established that the boys were missing um, before December. They have established that. Now we have to establish what happened to the boys. We have to establish for sure and how it happened. And does Jacqueline and Trezell are they a part of the children being missing? Right now they have established that the kids were missing before December. So y'all give me a second here. Hold on, y'all. Let me make sure I get everything up. Hold on. Let me find everything that I'm looking for. Come on, let me. Hold on, y'all. Let me stop. I'm about to stop the sharing right quick. Um, let me bring this thing up. Hold on, y'all. My stuff don't froze. Y'all, I may have to look at my original Twitter. Um, oh Lord. Okay, so here is some more of this video. It says here, um, it says here that in the recording, that the initial recording, authorities says the only reason, I want y'all to read this because this is some more. I'm gonna read. I'm gonna show this, and this probably is true. I want y'all to see it on the screen. So it says here in the recordings, authorities say the only reason the West called police was because Christmas was coming. They were scared family would visit, and they noticed the boys were gone. Jacqueline said no. At the end of the video, um, it says here that in the recordings, Smith says there is a line in the report saying there's a video of the children walking down the street. Hill said that came from law enforcement. Smith asked if there was reference to was law enforcement was trying to find. Hill said yes. Ryan asked Jacqueline why her story and Trezell's story aren't adding up. Jacqueline begins reiterating what they did after dropping off the kids. She said they got gas, went to the Superior, and went to the bank. Court is back in session. Detective Ryan is back on the stand, and Smith once again is playing the final few minutes of the recorded interview with Jacqueline and the authorities. It says here, Tori Stalin asked Hill if she was following this case in the news. Hill said, not really, only if something popped up. Tori Stalin asked if she ever discussed the case with coworker. Hill said maybe once. Tori Stalin says when Hill testified for the second time, she said the fourth line of her report regarding video surveillance of the children was a miscommunication. Hill says she doesn't recall, and Tori Stalin gives Hill the transcript from her testimony. West said they were watching the four older boys early in December of 2020. He said the kids were making gingerbread houses while he prepared dinner. West said he didn't see Oren or Orson that day. Hold on, we read that part. Hold on, y'all. Let me get this. Let me get my stuff together. Hold on. This ain't it. Hold on, y'all. We read that. Hold on. Let me get this together. And I may have to come off and come back on, but I'm gonna finish this testimony. Um, uh, Let me just find my place. Let me do the latest. Hold on, y'all. Give me a second. So I'm going to go to the point after, because they played the video again and finished it up. Hold on, y'all. I got to get to everything. Okay, I finally got everything because the trial ends with this. The day ends with the surveillance video. They did another testimony with a social worker. I feel like dealing with all that, so we're just gonna do this because I her video is what is important at this time. Um, so it says here Smith is playing the video. So we come back from lunch. They did another testimony, and then they go to break and lunch again, break again. Why in court do they break so much in court? That would take the stuff so long because they breaking so much. But anyway, it says here Jacqueline West entered the room and takes a seat. An FBI agent has taken a seat. The interview has this is the second interview, and the interview is again being held at Cal City Police Department. John Ryan has entered the room twice and left. No questions have been asked. Ryan and another officer entered the interview begins. He asks what she's thinking now that they have talked to her husband. Um, Ryan tells her her other children are in protective custody and she's not going to see them tonight. They need to make sure they're safe. Jacqueline says they are safe. She said the stuff they told us, they're not going to lie that much about that many things. So she basically was saying that the kids were lying, like they just made up like the boys just were missing, and that they didn't say the things that they said. Um, but she knows for sure, they know for sure that these kids ain't lying on them like that. Y'all, this is a little bit blurry. Hold on. I didn't know it was so blurry. Can y'all read it? Hold on. Y'all, I'm tired. Hold on. Okay, now it's showing. So it says here that Ryan tells her other children are in protective custody. It says here, he says the stuff, she says, he says, the stuff that they told us, they're not going to tell a lie that much about many things. Ryan says, of what her four other children have told authorities. He said the other children say they haven't seen Orson for months. It says here, as with the first interview, Ryan keeps telling her to tell him the truth. Ryan tells Jacqueline her mother also says she hasn't seen Oren or Orson in a long time. And she even testified to that. So Jacqueline been lying. Um, Ryan tells her there are so many things that are not adding up. Jacqueline is telling him where the family went Saturday to get gas, pick up food, and etc. It says here that Ryan tells her they're going to check all the surveillance cameras from the location she says they went to see if they were actually there. Ryan again tells her all four of her other children are telling authorities the exact same thing. He asked if she really believes all four children is going to make up a story and agree to tell it. So you try to make out your children as complete liars. She basically saying her kids, all four of her children, even the ones that she birthed, lying. Basically, what she's saying. She's saying everybody lying on her. This is what she's saying. She's saying the children are lying. It says here, Jacqueline says the only thing I can think of is they really don't like them. Jacqueline says, or what the four other children have told authorities. So now you don't come up with the kids don't like the other children, so they gonna lie and say that they've been missing. That's the only thing she came up with. It says here the audio in this second clip is much softer than the first. Much of what is being said is difficult to hear. So it says prosecutor Eric Smith has turned up the audio. Ryan asked when the last time she saw Orrin Orson. She said yesterday. She responded. She said she physically saw them. Ryan tells her there are two babies missing in the cold desert. He says she's not being honest. He says her other kids won't be with her this Christmas because she's not being honest about what happened. He tells her she knows the boys didn't go missing yesterday. They've been missing. He says somebody did something to the kids. They didn't walk away on their own. Then Ryan tells her she had a conversation with Trezell about how the other kids couldn't handle Oren and Orson. And the only way to make the family perfect again was to get rid of them. Wow. Now this is what's the scary. So this could be possibly happening. This possibly could have happened. Why she just you should have never adopted them if you knew that you could not and the family could not have, or need any more children to add. You should have never added the children in the first place. You shouldn't have added the children in the first place? Like, come on now. So it says here Jacqueline West keeps saying she's telling the truth. Ryan tells her that her and her husband's stories doesn't match, and he says her other children's smart kids told them another story. Ryan tells her people make mistakes, horrible mistakes. He says she can't hide it for forever. Jacqueline says the police are acting so mean. Well, these two goddamn kids that's missing. You expect them to be nice, really, lady? You, child. I don't know what she thought. I guess she thought that they actually were just. One thing about it, when they were have always been suspects since they talked to the children. The children was the ones that indicted them. The children. He said, "You're a mom. You're supposed to love your children. You're supposed to do everything in your power to protect them." Ryan tells her. He said he keeps telling her other children are saying that she and Trezell kept telling her Ori and Orson will be coming back soon. They haven't seen them in a while. They're saying that because it's the truth. Ryan tells her. No one has seen Orin or Orson, not her other kids or other family members, Ryan says. Jacqueline says her mom saw the boys during a video chat a week ago. Her sister has seen them too, she says. That's a whole lie because they talked to the mom and the mom said that they ain't hardly ever seen them. Oh. Brian says no one has seen these babies since November. Jacqueline says she's frustrated. She says police aren't really listening. Ryan says they are listening, but what she's saying isn't backed up by the evidence. Jacqueline says she doesn't have photos of the boys on her phone. She says she just got it. She just got it that month. So you done had these boys for how long, and you ain't got nan picture of these kids, not nan picture of these children. Y'all read? I want y'all to read that on the screen. She don't have nan picture of her adopted children that she claims she for sure. Well, she don't have any emotions or anything. She don't have anything. She don't have no emotions or nothing. So she just adopted them for just to get the damn money. That's all what it was. And then you got overwhelmed, and then you wanted to get rid of them, but you knew you couldn't send them back to the system because once you adopt them, they are yours. You have to raise them as your own. Woo, Jesus. So it says here, Ryan says Trezell West told him he did not shut the side gate. She did. Jacqueline West has said he did shut it. He did shut it. Ryan says she's a terrible liar. He keeps reiterating two little innocent children are missing, are no longer here, and you're okay with that. And Jacqueline says she's not okay with it. And because of what she's done, Ryan says he'll do everything in his power to make sure that she doesn't see her other children. He says he and other investigators know something happened to Ori and Orson and that she's not telling them. And then, yeah. She said, I'm telling you, I don't know, Jacqueline says when she asks where the boys are. Brian repeatedly tells her she's hiding something, and he says she has nothing to hide. Ryan leaves the interview room. Jacqueline continues to speak with FBI agent and another officer present. She says she doesn't even know where to begin to tell them where to look for the boys. Court is in recess for the day, and the trial resumes at 9 a.m. tomorrow, y'all. So, y'all, that what happened on trial on today. Um, if you're watching the playback, please comment. I'm about to leave. Good night, and see y'all on tomorrow. I'll do another update tomorrow. And another thing y'all don't know, and I found out today, is that do y'all remember the Umbum Sele guy that was killed was stabbed to death in the chest or in the heart by this OnlyFans model. Well, she is on trial, child, and we got to talk about it. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Y'all have a good night. I'll see you guys on tomorrow.